Steve Mignani here doing the Junkyard Crawl at One Stop Towing in Brimfield, Mass. with, well, one of those sticker supercars of the 1970s, a 76 Olds 442. Now, we all know that 1964 was the first year for the 442. 4-speed, 4-barrel, dual exhaust, 64 only. You get into 65 and beyond, well, those numbers meant a lot of things. By 1976, you could actually get a 250 cubic inch Chevrolet six-banger in a 442, yes. Or brand new, the 260 Oldsmobile V8, a miniature engine with a 5-speed manual. The stick only available with the 260 or the 350 or the 455 for the last time in 1976. Now, this is the original paint, the original graphics on this thing. The front fender is kind of banged up, but whenever I see this stuff in the junkyard, it kind of makes me sad. Now, this is not vinyl. This is painted on. General Motors, Fisher Body Division, absolutely masked this stuff and then ran the car through the paint booth a few different times. So, you know, it's not perfect. And like any Z28 or SS from the late 60s, early 70s, those factory graphics were done quickly and not always so nicely, but there it is. Okay, behind it, there it is, man, the super stock 3-wheel. Again, another 442 item. Unfortunately, somebody was worried about theft, and look at that, one of these anti-theft lug nuts. So the master key for that thing is undoubtedly long gone. But these are 15 by 7s. They're very large wheel and tire combos for the day, and certainly do the job quite well. Now, by 1976, the Oldsmobile 442 no longer had its unique louvered hood. There was nothing about this hood that was any different from a 6-cylinder Olds Cutlass. So nothing here, but underneath, what do we got? All right, well, that's an Olds V8. You always know it when you have this tube poking up, as owners of late 70s Trans Ams know. When you see this in front of the shaker, you're looking at the Olds 403. But this here, according to the VIN with its M in the 5th spot, is a 350. And the intake manifold is the iron piece for the Quadrajet with the small primaries, massive secondaries, an emissions carburetor, but there it is. But yeah, right here could have been an inline 256, a 260 Olds V8, the 350, or even the 455 in its final year, right here, 1976. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Timber! Okay, one thing about the 442 is the FE3 heavy-duty suspension, the rally suspension. If you look here, you'll see the sway bar up front is quite a bit thicker than it is on lesser Oldsmobiles right here. Fast ratio, power steering box right here, and heavy-duty coil springs right here inside of the cups. Now, disc brakes on all of these cars, even the 6-bangers. Let's keep walking down the side of this thing. Here's the trim tag here, which does not tell us about the 442 package, unfortunately, W29 I think it was. But it's a real one for sure, and it was last registered in 2000, 22 years ago, which to me, I'm 57, so it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was like a lifetime ago almost. Inside this one does have the column, or the console, automatic. Can't get the doors open on this one, but there it is right there. That center shifter is an Oldsmobile icon. Those were seen in 68 up 442s, and even though this doesn't have any power, it's a nice thing to remember that it does have that shifter. This also has the swivel captain seats. Final year for 1976, they swiveled, got them here. Now, something about these, the rear axle, the limited slip was an option, and here's the crazy part. The standard gear was a 241-to-1 axle ratio, which is like no acceleration at all. 308 was the craziest, wildest ratio you could get. So the days of the 391s in the Hearst Oldsmobiles of the 60s, long gone by 1976. Another thing too, well, exhaust. Single pipe right there. That is a function of any 1975 or later 442 because the catalytic converter that arrived mandated a single exhaust or 2 cats, which are very expensive. They're these big monoliths underneath the passenger side. So again, single exhaust even on the 455s in 75, 76. Crazy but true. Another detail here, here's remains of the grille right here. This is the slant grille right here that NASCAR racers loved so much in 1976 and 77. This would have 4 rectangular headlights, this car, when it was new. And speaking of, this is a colonnade body. What does that refer to? Well, this really thick body line right here, the B-pillar, huge, massive, strong. This was all about meeting government anti-rollover standards of the mid-70s. And these cars were all about safety. The doors are 5 feet long, a record in the industry. I don't think Camaro doors are even this long, 5-foot long door. And inside of there is about a 40-pound steel bar, an anti-crash bar. So, you know, there's a lot of safety baked into these things and a little bit of performance. Let's walk around the corner here and see some of the other loose parts. Now the front fenders are right here. Again, here's the factory graphics, the whiteout paint, the rally stripes. And here's a nice look right here at, yeah, cold air. Even though the hood on this thing no longer has anything resembling a W25 cold air system, this is a cold air duct that drew air from behind the radiator and into the snorkel of the air cleaner to feed the Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. And so that's the story of 1976, the next to the last year for the Colonnade full-sized A-body Olds 442. For 1978, the downsizing would come on, and they weren't quite as exciting. So the end of the line right here, if that was a 455 car, it'd be cool. But keep in mind, 455s were strictly automatics. The only 5-speed manuals were the 260 V8s, which could be had. But I dare say a 6-cylinder, 250 Chevy 6-cylinder, 3-speed on the column, 442, will be such a weird car. And as Oldsmobile said in 1976, can we build one for you? Yeah, you could get a 6-cylinder, 3-speed manual 442 in 1976. What would that be, a 260? Who knows? Doesn't matter. Well, that's the story of this puppy right here. And remember, the next time you see a Demon or a Hellcat or a ZL1 Camaro or a Boss 302 Mustang or a GT350, a new one, kiss it, because things were really dark in the 1970s. We've come so far. Well, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Magnanti YouTube channel, and we'll be back with more.